What's going on, everybody? I'm Patrick from POWLAX, where we create confident coaches because confident coaches create great environments for players. And in this video, we're going to be covering 4 important attack dodges. So one of the most important things for a really good attackman is the ability to control the ball as you are driving and pushing above GLE, which is goal line extended. So we're going to cover a progression of moves, and then I'm going to show you what they look like as I'm kind of dummy doing them on the field, and then we're going to do some examples of each one. So the first thing we got to do is do an overview of the progression, because how we play it is going to be based on what the defenseman does. And so we're just going to do a quick progression of which moves we are going to do in this scenario. So we are the blue dot, the defenseman is the orange dot. As we dodge, GLE is the goal line extended. It's an imaginary line on a lacrosse field. The other thing we want to know is the island. The island is essentially like 5 to 7 yards up and 5 to 7 yards out from the goal. It's essentially a great spot that we can shoot from because it's close to the goal, and it's just a good place to shoot from. The first thing we want to do when we're dodging from X is turn the corner and score. The next thing we want to do is, if they're in a good position, we want to bounce and then re-attack them in some way. If they go too high, we're going to inside roll. If they go too low or are in a good position, we're going to get to the island. Then we can question mark, or we can use our rocker. And so that's the progression we're going to go through. Now we're going to watch a lot of live clips. So the first one we have is a player who just gets above GLE, turns the corner, and scores. Now, I don't know if you would even say he beat him, but he got his shot off and he scored. So this is what we would call turning the corner and score. Now we've got our bounce dodge. So if they play good defense, now we're going to step away and then re-attack them in some way. Here's a really good example of a bounce where this player steps away, re-attacks, gets top side, has a good feed inside, doesn't score though. Now, if the defenseman on our bounce over pursues us top side, now we're going to inside roll, which is essentially a roll dodge to the front of the goal. Now, the key to the inside roll is this. Because our strong hand is on the outside of the field as we're running upfield, when we spin, now our strong hand is upfield and in front of the goal, which is going to allow us to make some really good shots that can be looked at as pretty difficult, but as long as our stick's to the middle, it works really well. This player does a great job of having the defenseman over pursue him top side. He does a good job of rolling. This player doesn't kind of get there to push him well enough. He rolls inside, stick to the middle, doesn't switch hands, and scores. In our next example, he doesn't even bounce. He just does a nice inside roll right at GLE. Excellent execution. And our final one, he's actually going to do his inside roll behind the goal. Check this out. It's pretty cool. He actually rolls behind the goal to get topside, which is great because defensemen try and push you back behind the goal. So if you can get them outside of you and inside roll, in that way, it's definitely beneficial. The next one we have is our question mark. So if we bounce, he plays us pretty good. We push up to the island. Now, once we get to the island, if he's playing us pretty well, but we have space to the outside and a pretty decent shot enough to shoot, we're going to step away from him, free our hands, and then shoot back over the top. So this is Jared Bernhardt. He was a Tewaaraton winner. He plays for the Falcons now, I think. So he's actually in the NFL, which is pretty cool. Now, as he pushes top side, notice the defenseman's in decent position, but now he's going to step away, turns to look, and that's his nice question mark. Now, the key to a good question mark is just the fact that you free your hands, but you're also in a position where you're close enough to score. Now, these next players don't even really step away much. They just kind of like roll and shoot it, which is perfectly fine. They are in an invert situation, which is essentially it's dodging against short stick defensemen behind the goal. Now, as this player turns, shoots his shot, that would be your question mark. Now, our final dodge is what you do if the defenseman kind of plays you too low. So if the defenseman here is kind of riding on my back shoulder here, now if I roll back into him, he's going to have to stay there, which means it opens up space above me. So this is a kind of perfect execution of a rocker. Now, nothing's going to look perfect every time. The key is, does it work? Notice he has a nice little stutter step back, nice rock back, keeps his defenseman there, and then turns the corner and scores. Rock. Yep. And so it kind of looks like just a little hesitation, but you can do it in a lot of different ways too, which is really cool. Same kind of idea here. This player's going to slip through, accept a pass. Notice how the defenseman is on his back, Now he's going to roll him, keep him there, and then push topside using his rocker. Same idea here. Nice little hesitation right at GLE. Little rocker move. Makes the defenseman miss his approach. And then he turns the corner and scores. Now our final example. He doesn't even turn his back. He literally just stutter steps and kind of like slows his momentum before pushing topside and scoring. So those are 4 attack dodges that can be extremely impactful to your game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys thought down in the comments section. Have a good one, and I will see you guys in the next one.